it right after this battle.
Ready?
And as you notice, the percussion will always fire the weapon where the flintlock just gets so dirty. Sometimes these don't fire. They just get that. And it was kind of weird. This was really a high-tech development in firearms, but the head generals of the U.S. Army thought the soldiers would lose their caps and not be able to fire their weapons in battle, so they stuck with this weapon. And then after the Mexican War, they actually took a lot of these weapons and converted it into percussion.
Okay. What I have here is also a flintlock. This is a Spanish model, and it's also a cavalry model. Most Californios were on horseback. There was very few infantry. Matter of fact, typical California life, a man spent on horseback. If you had to go to the store, you didn't walk, you rode your horse. It's just the way it was. And that's why they became extra horsemen. What I have here is a 1769, no, actually it's earlier Spanish colonial model, but this probably would have been handed down and used, but especially because it's a shorter model, not like the infantry musket is. You can tell, you can see the difference. This was made to be shot off horseback. I also too had problems, and a lot of us carried whisks and picks. And these gentlemen we carry it right on our chest, and the whisk, a little broom would sweep out the gunpowder out of the pan, and the pick would clean out that little hole in there to make sure that we had a good ignition. You want to go and fade the little dirt out? You sure put in my flint. That's the other problem, is your flint comes out of alignment. You're not going to get a good spark. You're not going to get a good. You're not going to set the powder on fire. This is also a 69 caliber, and our pistols that we carried also were 69 caliber. So our balls were pretty. So if you think about it, it's a pretty big sized ball that came out of this. This is called a Nicolette lock. It's a little different than what you see over here. You see the mechanics is on the outside. See how it sticks out? It's not made on the inside. Well, it sticks out a little bit, but not as much. A typical Spanish feature is this little, the tightening knob is an open circle. That's another indication. This is a Spanish musket, where most of them just have a round ball. The other thing I'd like to share with you is a lot of times John explained about putting the powder in the pan, and that ignites the ball. A lot of the times, a lot of terminology that you hear today that you don't hear anymore, but you ever heard the term, don't be a flash in the pan? That's, if you have a flash in the pan and it doesn't fire, you're all talking no show. Right? So that's where it's, and if you have everything, you have what? You have the whole lock, stock, and barrel. Right? Here's the lock, here's the stock, and there's the barrel. You have everything. Another good terminology is don't go around running half-cocked. Okay, so usually a musket has two positions. It has a half-cock, which nothing will happen. Except for that. That's full-cock. Oh, I guess mine didn't work. But it's not supposed to fly. It's supposed to be the safety feature. And every musket has that. And then, because what's going to happen, you're not going to get any action.
Unlike what he's carrying, that was a military weapon. This one here would have been what you were hunting with. If you were hunting with if you were rich enough to carry a gun. Most of us would have used our lances or our machetes to mostly hunt the grizzly bears that are eating all our cattle. But a few were lucky enough to have these hunting guns, which load exactly the same as everybody else. This one is also a flintlock. This one's a 1690 model French fusion.
Yeah, can you imagine?
We would have got them off the Yankee trader ships that came into San Pedro, San Diego, San Francisco, Monterey. And if I was lucky enough to actually own something like this, but as you can see, while you're riding a horse, this is kind of hard to load. And hopefully it'll go off.
Now, as you heard Fremont give a speech, our gunpowder was inferior. Not that it necessarily was wet, it just wasn't very good quality. The Californios had 2 cannons, Americans had 4, and they had superior firepower, and that had a lot to do with the battle. The other, so a lot of the Californios, even though we were extra horsemen, we used the lance. We were called lancers, and we were experts at that, extra horsemen. Even though we were extra horsemen, there was no match against 14 and expert bunk gunpowder. So that was it was one of the main decisions, factors in the battle.
Another thing too, like Dennis said, this is a hand-me-down. One thing about the forces up here in California was just the local vaqueros and guys that worked on the ranch that fought. In fact, we did some research. The last military supply from Mexico was in 1839 to Alta California. So these guys had to scramble for any kind of weapon and ammunition to get their hands on. And in fact, you guys probably know about Bluff in Washington, the monument there. There's 2 of the original 4 cannons. Those are 2 of the original 4 cannons that the Californians used against the Americans here. So you can actually go see those and touch them. There's no signs there that tell you what they are, but those are 2 of the original guns used in the battle here.
That's on what street?
Washington and Bluff Road.
Washington and Bluff, or whoever I was talking to.
But there's no parking there. So we're going to actually propose to the city, I think the city owns the property there, maybe to move that monument to this property here so they can visit, because you do have the museum and then there's parking here. I know it's very frustrating when you go visit a historical landmark and you can't park close.
The reason they picked that site is because they were doing some excavation and they found a lot of cannonballs there, so they decided to put that at that location. The other 2 cannon, I believe, are in the LA History Museum.
LA County Museum of Natural History has the 2 other guns, but they're not on display anymore. They're in storage in their Compton warehouse. Somebody had a question where the battle was. Well, doing all our research, the battle was 3/4 of a mile south of this building. Because there was a report on the night after the battle that there was Californios in a local ranch house. And this was the only local ranch house in the area. And they said it was 3/4 of a mile away from their camp. So that's where the battle was, 3/4 miles out. So this building was part of the battle. And also, I don't know if you guys been inside the museum. Doña Lobo, who was the lady that owned this house, her son Santiago rode with the Californios and actually fought the Americans at Stephen's Wall. He was here too, fighting for California. Anything else?
Any other questions? Oh, he's raising. No, he's taking. California.
Que viva!